the Moto Guzzi V9, the Street Stomper. Hello, Dylan from Throttle Company here in Columbus, Ohio. I did this last video, I can't ever time it this well again, but we sell Royal Enfields, Moto Guzzis, and vintage motorcycles. Today's video is about this bike in front of me, which is a 2022 V9 Bobber, Moto Guzzi, of course, front of the door. I've got a camera set up. Hopefully I'll get some cool shots. There's a 360 camera. Little gimmick for you there to add some spice to the In the Loop. This is a series I do where I talk about a bike, we ride it. I try to give you the idea of what it's like to ride it. The V9, the main thing that I think, this is basically, I keep comparing things to American bikes, but I guess that's what we're used to here. But this is sort of the Italian Sportster. So this is Moto Guzzi's idea of, it's called the Bobber, but I think it should more be like, I don't know how to explain what it is. Bobber's not a good name for it, honestly. Because we think of Bobber, we think of like the Triumph Bobber, right? And like, or like a custom Bobber. And this doesn't seem like that at all. So, like our Chopper. This doesn't seem like that to me, the way the seat is and stuff. But ignore the name. They're Italian. They don't know what us Americans think a Bobber is. But big, chonky front tire. That's the first thing you notice. This is a 16-inch front tire. Some Sportsters have 16-inch front tires. Some cruisers, some older cruisers especially, 16-inch front or 16-inch rear as well. They're cast wheels, which means they can use tubeless tires if you so desire, which is nice because if you're on the road, oh, I stole the license plate. Great idea, Dylan. If you're on the road and you get a flat, you could always plug it in an emergency, just like you would a car tire, and get yourself going. This particular motorcycle is special because it is the Centenario, or the Centenario livery. So that is how you say it in Italian. That is exactly how you say it in Italian. I don't want to hear about it. The green color here, this kind of misty green satin, and the silver and the gold accents come from a famous Moto Guzzi motorcycle, one of the first, as far as I know, the first V8 motorcycle. So by that I mean 8 cylinders. I know that's crazy, like a big car engine, but it did the same design in a motorcycle. Not as big, but it was for racing. It had this same livery, and here we are paying homage to that 100-year anniversary. So COVID obviously had a lot to do with the manufacturing, and this is a 2022, but you have 1921 to 2021. That's the 100-year anniversary, the Centenario. So we've got just a cool styling. That seat is very thin, but I said this in another video today. Moto Guzzi, the Italians, they take their upholstery very seriously, and that is an extremely comfortable seat for how thin it is. So you're not compromising for the style. This seat comes off, and then there's just one little hole that has like a little rubber plug you can put in, and then you don't even notice, so it can be completely like solo. A lot more bobbery looking, but at the moment you could carry a passenger. There's a passenger bag. Speaking of, there's my camera. Hopefully I'm giving you some cool shots. Hopefully I don't kick it or have it fall off on the road. But let's get going. Speaking of the road, we're going to ignore the fact that we don't have a license plate, and we're just going to take off. Okay, don't kick the camera, don't kick the camera. Moto Guzzis, and any bike that has this type of engine is going to do a fun thing when you start it up, which is shake. It shakes to the side because of that transverse V-twin. I'm going to try to, I haven't taken off yet. I'm too concerned about hitting the camera. Hopefully it gives me some cool shots and is worth it. Trying to spice it up for you guys, my loyal viewers. I'm doing a bunch of videos today. It's the end of October, and the weather is amazing. It's honestly warm. I'm sweating. I'm wearing my summer riding jacket, which is like all mesh, perforated, and I'm sure I kicked the camera there, and it's a little warm even, so it's like 75, perfect, and it's hot, so I thought I'd get out, ride, do some videos. I've changed up some of my equipment, so hopefully everything goes smooth, but it never does. We're getting into some traffic here. I have no idea what time it is, 3, 4, on a Monday. We're not open today, so that's why I don't know. Oh, my gas light just came on. I've got 35 miles. We'll be okay. The mirrors on a V9 are a little shorter. Every bike, and in case you don't know this, every modern Moto Guzzi, and by that I mean 2022 model, has the same engine. So it's an 850. Technically it's 853 cc's, and that's what this is. V9 originally sort of meant 900. It really has always kind of been that 853, but this engine is shared essentially with the V7 now, which was originally a 750. Well, used to be a 750, and now it's an 850. And the V85 is sort of their adventure bike, long distance, comfortable, all-day bike. This, I'm not sure what this bike is for. Let's try to figure it out together. It's got that big stomper front tire, and it's for city. It's for looking cool. That's definitely it. It's for looking unique. You've never seen another motorcycle like this. This tank shape. It looks like a cobra's head, and these cylinders sticking way out there, exaggerated by the tank shape. This flat, you know, bobber style seat. I will give them the seat is bobbery. That turn, I just feel like I'm riding on these giant gumballs, and that turn was just easy as could be. It's like a car tire or something if it was round. On the sides, I mean, obviously car tires are round. I know about cars. Anyway, the V9 is fun. You have lots of power. I mean, it feels fast. I don't know. This is funny how people go, especially Americans. You know, the smallest Harley Davidson is that 883, so it's basically 850. And this feels so much faster than that. It's got the shaft drive. That's another Moto Guzzi thing. All Moto Guzzis are shaft driven, and have this kind of V8 or V horizontally opposed V twin, and the shaft drive gives a lot of character as well. The engine is where you get a ton of the character. This is a very upright riding position. It's very similar to the V7, but the V7 have more of a classic look. This is like, especially now that they have the same engine, this is like if a V7 was like 100% custom. It's like, oh, I love that engine, but I just want to do my own kind of, I guess I keep calling it the street stomper. So that's what we'll call it. The Moto Guzzi V9, the street stomper. That's what they should have called it, not bobber. Come on. What did you... Hey, send me a message, Moto Guzzi, Italy. I'll come up with the names from now on if you want to. If you want to. Anyway, everything works great. The handlebars controls are exactly what you'd be used to, other than this. We'll do it at the end. I'm not going to do it while I'm riding here. But the kill switch is a push-pull, kind of, or not push-pull, but a push-in toggle thing, which is how the V85s are as well. I hope I'm not going to get stuck behind these guys. Hopefully they both turn. It handles great. This motorcycle is really fun to take in the turns. It's something to do with those big knobby tires. You just have like an infinite amount of rubber to use, which is kind of cool. Oh, very tricky. And now I don't know what I'm going to do because this guy forgot to turn. It's crazy out here on Monday. He's not going to turn. I'm going to turn. I don't want to be behind these guys. So, in the interest of dear viewer, I'm going to make a little U-turn and cut this out and come back to you. All right, we're back on the road. Took a second to let those cars go ahead. Show you what it's like. We have a cool dash. I really like this dash. Somebody said it looks like Baby Yoda. Now I can't unsee it. But it's got the turn signals off to the side, so you're never going to forget. You have a gear indicator there. I am now in second gear, going 25 miles an hour. Very obvious, very large. How close is my... Wow, that was close. I don't know if you guys saw that. I gotta be careful on my right-hand turns, hitting my camera on the ground. I even moved it in, thinking it... Anyway, hopefully they give you the shot of a lifetime, because it almost was the lifetime of this camera. So, you have trip indicator, you have the temperature. You got a lot going on that dash. Like I said, you can really dig in on the turns. I'm not going to dig in on this turn, everyone. We saw what almost happened last time. It's got a shift indicator light that tells you, hey, you should shift. But the red line is really like 7,000, 8,000 RPM. I'm going to take this nice and slow, give you some slow-mo shots. And we'll give you an idea of the power here as we give on. Shift at 6,000. Shift at 6,000. Fourth gear, 60 miles an hour. We have 6 gears. Hopefully my sound can handle this. 68. There we go. 70 miles an hour, 6 gear. No problem. If you were buying this for highway cruising or occasional highway cruising, you've got it. 60 miles an hour. It was at 3,000 RPM, maybe 4,070. Bike doesn't care. It's a great engine. The whole drivetrain system is really set up for cruising. It's awesome. The person who buys this is a style guy. They want something different, or girl, of course. They want something different. They march to the tune of their own drum, or whatever that's called. And they're unique. I'm trying not to kick my camera here. And then I do it anyway. But Moto Guzzis are kind of like that anyway. You know, they only make like 10,000 bikes a year. They're not hugely well known in the world of motorcycling. If you've been around a long time, you've no doubt heard of them eventually, or maybe even have one or whatever. But they're not super well known. They're kind of a secret, and they're very refined. I mean, they're very. I don't know. My best way of saying it, it's like the IPA. I maybe get a lot of people that completely do not like that metaphor, but you know, when you first drink beer, you're thinking like, I'll have a Budweiser. This is at least in America. If you're German or something watching this, you're thinking, this is the worst description I've ever heard. But you know, you get into a Budweiser and you think like, I'll try something, you know, a little bit more flavorful. And eventually you find your way with these craft beers that are all out now. You find your way to the IPA. And, you know, it's become a bit of a meme as the hipsters all like the IPAs and, I only drink IPAs kind of thing. And the Moto Guzzi can be a bit like that, too. It's like being vegan or something. You just never shut up about it. It's that kind of thing for the motorcycles. It's life-changing the first time you ride a Moto Guzzi. And nothing's like it. And if it gets you, if it sinks its hook into you, it's all you think about. You're just thinking about the next Moto Guzzi. You're just thinking about a different Moto Guzzi. So, if that's you, then you probably know it at this point. And if it's not you and you want to see what the hype is all about, I can be your drug dealer, and you can come on down to Throttle Company in Columbus, Ohio. There are not a lot of Moto Guzzi dealers. Now, that's a thing to definitely consider as sort of the dealer network. That's the number one thing you hear people complain about all the time. They were working hard on that. They are trying to set up dealers all the time. We are a new dealer. We've only been around 6 months. There's only 2 dealers in the entire state of Ohio. So if you're not in Cincinnati, we're your guy. Because the other one's down in Cincinnati. Then there's one in Kentucky. There is one up Detroit. Detroit Iron, I believe is their name. And, you know, check them out. Go see a Moto Guzzi. Go try to take a test ride. Most people... Nicole and I just started doing this show called Quittin' Time at the end of the day, and we were talking about people letting you ride their Moto Guzzis. People with Moto Guzzis love them, and they would love to share it with you and get you to love it. So it is easy to find a friend, make friends with someone who has a Moto Guzzi, and they will quickly offer you a test ride on their bike because they know there's something special and it's something worth riding. So I recommend you do that. The V9 is extremely special. There's never been a motorcycle like this. It's just so hard to define, so hard to put into words what this motorcycle is like. You see that guy go by with his cruiser and he's got the raked out front end. This really doesn't have that. This has kind of the simulation of a raked out front end. It's got the big fat tires, but then it doesn't have a skinny front tire. That's how I would think a cruiser, a chopper, a bobber would be. I didn't want to put my foot down there, so we avoided it. Anyway, if you're interested in this bike, if you want to take a test ride, if you want to test ride any of the Moto Guzzis or any of the used Moto Guzzis that I've covered in these videos, come check them out. This one is our demo bike, so it's not really for sale, but we have another one. We have an all black one, so just imagine the exact same thing, just all black. This is the special edition. It will eventually be for sale because it is a demo, but they don't make them anymore. Even though this is 2022, we only ordered 2. We sold 1. You cannot get any anymore. So if you love the Gold Eagle and the Centenario Livery, it's rare. You might have to try to talk us into selling this one. That's all you can get. Here's a fun little tidbit. Because, like I said, everything's in Italian. See how this says join the community? Outside of America, that says join the clan. Join the CLAN clan. So you can imagine why they said community in America, because we have some different connotations for that. I'll give you a test or a taste of the uniqueness of the button here. So we've got a starter button here. That's how you change modes. Maybe you have to wake it up. Oh, you know what it is? It's because I'm stuck on the low engine. No, actually, on a V9 it's slightly different, so I have to go into the menu. I won't show you that. On other bikes you hit the starter again and it changes modes. On this V9 and the V85, if you hit this button, it kills the bike. So I will say goodbye, see you next time, check out my other videos on In the Loop, and kill the bike for you.